I want to talk to you about superannuation. You were asked a while back how much people get on super. Do you know how much a couple gets on super?
Yeah, about 550 before tax, about 450 after tax.
So 426 is how much a single person gets, but 356 is how much a couple get each.
Yep.
Are you across those details, and can you get across them?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the point we were talking about there was actually saying, you know, we've got a situation where New Zealanders are living longer, and we've got a belief that we should, over time, in a responsible, measured way, with lots of notice, actually enable people to understand the retirement age will move from 65 to 67.
You were scathing about the KiwiSaver GST tax and how much that was going to cost people in terms of their retirement funds. How much will people miss out on when you raise the super age?
Well, no, it kicks in at an age, you know, when people are probably, you know, we've talked about a long run, 20-year period, for people to actually have plenty of time to adjust to it. And so if you think about it, you know, we were talking about, you know, probably 2037, 2042 in terms of when people would start to see the changes starting to come through. And so we're giving people plenty of time. Every 10 years, an average New Zealander lives for another 1.3 years. And so there's plenty of reason, there's plenty of ability for us to do that.
Is it 2037 or
Well, what our policy was is the same policy that Bill English had, which was in 2017, a 20-year lead-in and time frame to do that. And what we're saying is, look, we'll be signalling and we'll lock it in for the election, but people will have plenty of time, whether it's 15 to 20 years, to adjust to actually a change in when super kicks in. Okay,
so taking 2 years of super away from people, that costs about 50 grand, which is about double what the KiwiSaver GST would have cost people's retirement.
Yeah, all I'd say to you is, look, the reality for New Zealand is that people are living longer, they're working longer, and as a result, you know, as I said, every 10 years our life expectancy goes up 1.3 years. If you think about 20 years notice, you've got another 2.5 years of life expectancy going to be added. It just is the responsible thing to do. I appreciate there may well be politics at play and people may want to present in certain ways, but the reality is, for New Zealand, we see other countries already at 67 years. I'm just being upfront about it and saying over time, in a slow, gradual way, people should expect that the retirement age will move from 65 to 67.
So how much extra do people have to save over the next 20 years to make up that 50 grand?
Well, that's something that, you know, I can't give you numbers right here on the spot, but I can just say to you.
Shouldn't you know that if you're taking that away from them? How much people have to save?
Let's be really clear. We're not taking it away from anyone at this point in time. What we're saying to you is we are signalling that we will have an increase in a slow, gradual increase in retirement age from 65 to 67. You know, we're talking about giving people anywhere from 15 to 20 years adjustment to be able to do that. That's fair, it's reasonable, it's pragmatic, and that's what we're talking about.
Over 15 years, they'd have to save about an extra $70 a week to make.
And people are working longer and they're living longer. And as a consequence, if you think about when people used to retire and where they retire today, and I've come from a workforce where I see people working into their 70s and choosing to work in their 70s.
Who's got $70 a week?
Sorry?
Who's got $70 a week to save at the moment?
No, I get it, but I'm just signalling to you that New Zealand, for New Zealand's, you know, it's expensive for New Zealand. It's the right thing to do with life expectancy changing. Many other countries are already at 67 years.
Why not means test to super?
We will talk about our policy down the road, but right now I'm just signalling to you when I was asked the question, are we going to move the retirement age? The answer is yes, in a slow, gradual way.
So you're not ruling out means testing super?
I can't see a need for us to change that at this point, but what I'm saying to you is we're going to talk to move the retirement age from 65 to 67.
At this point, that's something you would consider, means testing it?
No, I don't see a need for us to do that. I think having a universal super system like we've had has been pretty efficient. I think when you start to talk about means testing, you end up with a whole bunch of administration and complexity that actually doesn't always flow through. But I think I'm just saying take the current system as it is and move the retirement age in a well signposted, gradual, responsible way.